Please stand for the pledge and prayer and we'll get started. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Oh God, we thank you for the freedom and opportunity we have to assemble as we have here this evening. We ask that you would lead, guide, and direct the proceedings, that the decisions that are made be pleasing in your sight, beneficial to the people of our area. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Again, welcome. And Commissioners, we have a set of minutes from July 2nd, 2024 to review, edit, and approve this evening. Any questions on the minutes?
I've read the minutes, and I'll make a motion to approve as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The minutes are approved as submitted. Next item on our agenda this evening is 606 East Dewood Henry Drive. Rezone request from R1 to R2. Frankly, I'm not sure who all at the table was or was not aware. There was a mix-up, I understand, with the Beebe News not publishing the ad that they were sent by the city. Having said that, the mayor and the city attorney have notified me in writing that they think it is appropriate for us to hear this request tonight since it was tabled from the last meeting. I was not comfortable doing that without their assurances, but in both cases, they said it is proper for us to hear and act on it in whatever way the commission deems appropriate. Mr. Lemons, I'll let you have an opportunity to tell us what's different from the last time we talked. And we'll
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, as based on the comments and the conversations we had at the July Planning Commission meeting, I got with the client and they agreed to not only change the zoning from R3 to R2, but also we were able to structure the layout in such a way that we will not be requesting or even asking for any kind of variance. So we were able to put both those items to bed. So that being said, I hope that you had got a layout of this. I sent one in on the revised layout of what we're putting up there.
Did everybody see that? I think James sent it out.
I think yes.
So basically, they're kind of following along with the comments at the Planning Commission meeting of last month. We took the 3 buildings to the south out because there was some concern about those lots backing up to Dewood Henry. And so that would just be an oversized grass area. It'd just be a green space. Maybe a park area for the people that live there. But, so I believe that I think we addressed the comments that the Planning Commission, the concerns that they had last month. So we're here tonight to see if we could get the R2 zoning so we could go forward. And of course, this is just a rezone. We're not required to give you that concept plan, but we feel like it's necessary to prove what we're wanting to do, because if we just come here and say we want an R2 zoning, you'll be asking questions like, well, how many is it going to be in there? You know, where are they going to sit and all that? So even though it's not required, we feel it prudent to go ahead and provide the concept plan. This is not the site plan. There will be a full-blown site plan if we go forward with this that will address all the other requirements of the subdivision regulations.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Be glad to answer any questions.
Commissioners, any questions anyone has at this point?
James, the legal notice, copy of the legal notice you sent out, it appears to be the old one because it says R1 to R3. Did you get the updated legal notice?
Yes. Yes, it was attached.
What you,
In the file, in the 606 file.
I think he's talking about in this one.
okay, what you emailed to us on that attachment, it was this one here that said R1 to R3. I just want to make sure that we got the correct one.
This is the one here that was all.
Okay, that's all I needed? Thank you.
Okay. No, what I sent to BB News was R2.
Okay.
Just in the interest of full disclosure, as everyone knows, when a property comes up for rezone, we have a public hearing. We had a public hearing last month, that lasted quite a length of time. We heard everyone's opinions. I haven't heard anybody that's changed their opinion. If y'all want to go through that again tonight, I will defer to the commission if you want to open up for a public hearing to hear everybody's opinions again. I'm not going to do that unless you tell me you want to do that.
We're required to do a public
Yeah, I
hearing
mean-
Okay,
for any
then,
rezone.
if that's the case, then what I'm hearing the commission say is that you're going to request one. Is that right?
Yeah, even, I would say even if we weren't, if they came here to be heard, then they need to be heard.
That's a fair request. So having said that, we will open a public hearing, and this is related to the rezone request before us for 606 East Dewitt Henry Drive. The request is to rezone the property from R1, which is single family only, to R2, which is medium density that does allow duplexes. And anyone that would like to speak for or against the rezone request, you may feel free to do so. Yes, sir.
Thanks for letting me speak. I'm William Nick. I live at 606 Rhode Island Street. As a property owner in that neighborhood, I have deep concerns about the potential rezoning and development plan for this area. I have lived here for many years and value the quiet family atmosphere that currently exists out in our property. The idea of adding apartments in the middle of our neighborhood is very unsettling to me. I understand the need for growth, housing opportunities, but I believe that building maybe like single-family homes would be a better fit for our community. Homeowners tend to take better care of the property, resulting in more cohesive and well-maintained neighborhoods. Additional apartments could bring traffic, noise, disruption, and peaceful environment that we currently enjoy there in our neighborhood. I hope the board considers the impact on the current residents and the character of the neighborhood before making a decision. It is important to strike a balance between growth and preserving the unique quality that makes our neighborhood special. My question to board members and developers of this project is, would you want this development in your own neighborhood? I assume that many of you live in a residence. It's a peaceful community that you cherish. As someone who has lived in this neighborhood for many years, I can't help but feel concerned about the potential impact of this project. Would you want apartment buildings right next to your home, knowing that it might change the dynamics of your community? I urge you, the board, to consider how this development would affect not only property values, but also the quality of life for those of us who have invested in our neighborhood. Preserving the character of our community is essential, and your decision should reflect the values, desires of the residents who call this area home. And thank you for listening to me tonight and on my concerns and considering the perspectives of property owners like myself in that area. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief. Anyone else wish to be recognized? Yes, sir.
I'm David Pruitt. I live at 609 East DeWitt Henry Drive. You know, I've got apartments all around me. I knew that when I moved in there. I knew that when I remodeled. I knew that when I raised my family there. But one thing I enjoy when I come home at night from a hard day of work, sitting out on my front porch, looking at the traffic go by, and I really don't want to see a bunch of apartments right there right there. I got them to the right of me, I got them to the left of me. They were there, okay. But this property could be used better for some other situation. I believe we got enough apartments right here. And like Chief Nick said, do you want that in your neighborhood? I think we got enough right there on DeWitt Henry. As a business owner, as a family man here, been here 39 years, close to 40 years now. I love my community. I'll do anything to help support it. But this is one thing I wish the commissioners would consider to turn down. I don't think this is the place for it. This is a place that, when the bottom line it comes to, a local man buys a piece of property. And it's sitting over there, a building's sitting there falling down. And then he's gonna resell it to other investors. They're gonna build apartments, and then that company's liable to resell it to another company from out of town, out of state, who knows what. And then we gotta deal with more outsiders. We want people to come in and build businesses here. We want people to come here to live. We want people to be part of this community where it grows. We are at a growing spurt. There's no doubt about that. I'm thankful that people want to come here and invest in our community, but, you know, when a bunch of outsiders come in, or they use a local man to buy a property and then reinvest it and sell it to somebody else, I'm not into all that. I just think that, I hope y'all consider to rethink this, and I hope you deny it. I'm just one guy, Chief Nick, and other neighbors that we've been talking to. You know, we've been up here 3 times already in the last few months. 3 times. I could be home with my family right now, enjoying my grandkids, just having a good time. But I think it's very important that I show up here to show my concerns about what's happening right across from me. And if we don't stand up for our community, if we don't stand up and say we're against something, then we have no right to be complaining about anything. But no matter what, if they think they're going to wear us down, wear us out, we was here last year, if I'm not mistaken, for the same piece of property about rezoning. This is kind of getting monotonous. It's kind of getting crazy. I think we need to turn this thing down, but ultimately it's up to you commissioners. And I pray that you think about it, and, you know, and I said pray. I pray that you make the right decision for our community. And I don't think this would be a good source for us. Thank you, and God bless y'all.
Thank you, sir. Others wish to speak? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Kathy Turner, and I live on 610 Roe Allen Street. And I refer to be like townhouses, then apartments. And if y'all do build apartments, are y'all gonna put a private fence there by where our line is? And where we live, it's so low when the water runs, like your sewer, all that water. Y'all gonna put a water line there to stop the water, so our ground won't be flooded, because you'll hit all their neighborhood right there. It's really quiet, and we don't really like all that noise. So we'd appreciate you put something else there and sell apartments, like a houses or something, that we have, y'all wanted to give something, because the apartment just caused a lot more problems. But if y'all put a fence, private fence there, and so we don't know everything goes on, that'd be great, and fix the water problem. But we like the quiet neighborhood there.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else wish to be heard? Okay, I'll call the public hearing to a close. And commissioners, if you have questions for Mr. Lemons, feel free to let him know or let me know those questions, and we'll proceed to our own discussion.
Before we get into any more questions, I'd like a chance to maybe, hopefully, address some of the concerns that
one more
have been
time.
expressed tonight, if that's okay.
One more time. I'm trying to be a good guy here.
I appreciate that. The word apartment is used over and over and over again. These are not what you would classify as apartments. These are duplexes. These are basically 2 single-family homes that are against one another. Some people call them garden homes. They are for rent, yes, but then, you know, you can go in any subdivision in this town and you can find a house that's for rent. I'll tell you right now, I live in Greystone. I'm renting my house. You can find rental properties anywhere. And the reason I'm renting my house is I'm waiting on interest rates to come down so I can build. Don't want to do it right now with them as high as they are. There was some concern about the maintenance, about the lawn care and so forth. I've done several of these projects with these gentlemen, and I can tell you that they do a really good job of maintaining what they have. They mow it, they maintain it, they keep the landscape up. They do a tremendous job, better than pretty much any property manager that I'm aware of. And last but not least, the last concerns that were expressed about a privacy fence. I'm quite sure that the developer would be more than glad to put up a perimeter privacy fence and even put some landscaping there. They want this to be a nice development, not something that's just slap something together and run down the road. They want it to be nice, and they've expressed that in the previous meetings. With that being said, I'd be more than glad to answer any questions you may have, and I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Well, the drainage, isn't that going to have a retention?
We will, somewhere on the property, we will have to have a retention area. Actually, it's going to be detention. It will drain, out. We're not going to have a hole of water there. We're not exactly sure where it's going to be just yet. We just wanted to allocate a space there, so we didn't put a building there. It could be in one of the other corners. It could be out in that green space in the front. It really depends on the topo and the fall of the property, which we have not done yet. But yes, we will have a detention facility there that will be designed to city standards.
Other questions for Mr. Lemons, anyone?
Yes, I have one.
Yes, sir.
What's the difference between apartments and duplexes then?
To me, an apartment means that you have 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 units that are together with common walls. A duplex is just that. It is just 2 families. Each building has only 2 families in it. So, and duplexes tend to rent better. They're more secure with the rent. You tend to attract people that would be more desirable as far as taking care of things as well, because they basically own half a house, or they're living in half a house they maintain.
How many square foot is that?
I believe these are going to be around 1,100 square feet of heated and cooled.
Each duplex?
Well, each half. So
Each
the total
half, okay.
building will be around 2,000 to 2,200.
Other questions, anyone?
Oh, we also added some sidewalks in there too to add a little recreational feature. I don't know if y'all saw that or not, but we're trying to do everything we can. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So the question before the commission is the rezone of approximately 6 acres of property at 606 East Dewitt Henry Drive. The request is to rezone the property from R1, which is what it is today, to R2. And the commission can act in any way that the commission deems appropriate.
I don't know, this may be more appropriate to wait until a motion is made, but last month, I talked about density and property values. Chief Nick kind of brought that up again. 19 units, that's 38 family units. On average, with 2 people, and there maybe more in some, that's a density of 64. And I brought in that article and those facts last month that density does affect property value, again, like Chief Nick said, and I think other gentlemen mentioned something about it too. But I've got a question, and I've been pondering this and just thinking about it myself. We make decisions here for the city, or not decisions, we make recommendations basically. And I've asked a few folks, when we make these decisions and we have community on one side and the owner and builder on the other, whose opinions or desires hold the most weight? Okay? I think, sir, you said we're making decisions for the community. So I'm asking you, who do we represent here? Who holds the weight in these decisions? Is it what the community wants, especially the people who abut up next to the property in question? Or is it the owner? I mean, we're not going to tell anybody you can't use that property. Our decision here, our thought process has to be what will you use that property for that will suit the neighbors around it. And it may be just me, but in my opinion, the people surrounding these properties, I think their weight, their opinions should be taken with great value, I'll put it that way.
Fair point. Anyone else wish to be making statements or be heard?
I would like to just say that if we were to rezone this, there's no guarantee that this plan is even gonna go forward at that point, or that the owners that own it, or that are potentially gonna buy it, are gonna be the ones that end up. I mean, so we have to think about that as we make a decision too. He said that the people that he works for, does a very nice property and upkeeps a nice property, but there's no guarantee in the future that's gonna be the owner of that property.
Well said. Other comments anyone wish to make? Obviously, we've heard this a number of times. I just want to be transparent that I will abstain from voting this evening. I will not be the fifth vote in favor of this project. So if there are 5 votes, to approve it, no hard feelings toward anyone. Make your decision based on what you've heard and what you think is right. Someone wish to make a motion one way or another on the matter? The only thing I know we can do is approve or deny it. We've already tabled it. Unless somebody's got a good reason to table it again, I can't imagine what that would be, but if anybody's got any,
Well,
that's fine.
procedurally, is there something, Mike, do we need to do something to bring it off the table even to discuss it?
I mean, we're discussing it now, so we're in the process, so whether or not we lifted it off the table, doesn't matter, immaterial. Oh, by the way, city council doesn't use Robert Rules of Order.
Obviously, if we make a decision one way or another, if the city council believes we've acted in a egregious or improper manner, not that just they disagree with our judgment call, but if they think we didn't let somebody speak that needed to, or we didn't follow a law or something, they have a right, obviously, to overrule our recommendations, whichever way they go in those circumstances. But when we hear these, at some point, we just have to make a decision.
All right, then I move to deny the request.
Second that.
There's a motion and a proper second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the motion carries and the rezone request is denied. Next item on our agenda is a rezone of 4 parcels. These are 4 parcels for the auto auction property. I'm sorry, please, just tell us all of what we need to. I know we talked about this briefly a couple months ago, but
Yes, sir.
fill us in, sir.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
thank you.
Thank you,
Please.
Mr. Chair. We brought this project in front of you guys a couple months ago. This is Central Arkansas Auto Auction expansion. You all approved the site plan at that time. I'm here tonight because of an oversight, I believe, on my part, but the existing parcel that the auto auction sits on is zoned commercial. The property they purchased from the city of Beebe, east of that, onto which they're expanding, is also zoned commercial. However, there were 4 small parcels that they had purchased previously from other owners, not the city, that were still on the books as zoned residential. So they created this little island in the middle of our site plan that's zoned residential, surrounded by commercial zone property on either side. Obviously, for their use, they ought to be zoned commercial. So to try to clean that up, and thank you, James, for pointing it out to me, we submitted to rezone those 4 parcels to commercial. That on the east, that's labeled Peyton Investments in white, that's already zoned commercial. And that on the west, that's labeled Peyton Investments on the left-hand side of the screen there, also zoned commercial. This property fronts on 67-167, surrounded by commercial uses. Seems like well, I'll let you all decide, but it makes sense for it to be zoned commercial and it fits with our site plan. So I don't think I have much else to add. I'll try to answer any questions if you have them.
All procedures have been done on this.
Okay, so we're properly advertised. I guess what I need to do, at least as a formality, is call a public hearing to order on these parcels. Anyone wish to be heard regarding this matter?
Please line up at the podium.
Okay.
It'd have to be one of you two, so.
All right, so we'll close the public hearing, hearing no comments one way or another. Questions for the gentleman, guys?
I got one for James. James, I did not see any rezone in the newspaper. Was it in the Beebe News or was it in another newspaper?
Yes, the notice of publication on
Okay, I missed that one completely. You're making them too big. I'm looking for the little one. I'm looking for the little one.
Once upon a time, it was a postage stamp, wasn't it, almost?
Well, aren't they on both sides of that property? Right now, Payne Investments?
Yeah, I
Side of
mean,
golf?
it,
I mean, only one would be golf, right?
That's
Yeah, well,
that's-
yeah,
That's
it's
commercial
just
as well.
200 feet from any proximal landowner there.
I thought
But
we had a
that's
question
the
about
mail out, and
how they was gonna drive in there.
Can I point at this?
Yeah,
Please
how-
do.
How they gonna enter into that
This,
property,
for some clarity, this is where the existing Central Arkansas Auto Auction is.
okay?
All of this includes their expansion, so it has access from, the existing facility. This is actually a public right of way, but it's not a very good road. We may use it for construction access, but not permanent access. And then this on the east would be accessed also by the future state road. And until that date, Mr. Hooten's worked out an access easement with the mayor to get access from the cul-de-sac and the new commercial subdivision.
They're, okay. They're
so that's the
cul-de-sac
new
from the
street
cul-de-sac.
across from First Security Bank, correct?
Where it comes off of. We don't touch that street, but we've got a 50-foot wide easement to that street that expires if and when the state builds that new access road. But regardless, we do have two other legal means of ingress and egress. One being their existing property touches it. We could always access from there. And secondly, this public right-of-way west end. Now, that would need to be improved if all that went away for some reason. But
Is that the one that goes beside Griffin, I guess?
Griffin's right here.
Okay.
This is West End. Midget's more of like, that's a nicer road.
Is that the road that goes by, where the hometown hardware is?
Yes.
Yeah. Goes straight back.
Oh, so that road there, I thought it curved. and went
Well, it
around.
does. It turns right there by Old Family LTD, is that?
Yeah, the road really does this. There's a right of way in there and kind of an old gravel road.
Yeah.
It could be.
I know.
Yeah, it's just like a,
Cause there's gonna be
Path.
heavy traffic there.
Yeah, if we use it, it'll be only for construction entrance. It's not on the site plan that you all approved as an actual public access point for their customers.
Is there a future desire to have a separate ingress, egress? Because when the auction's going on, that pullout right there,
It was tough. That's what I'm saying, it's hard.
Yes, sir. So the plan is, if we get to move on this expansion, the customers, the buyers, which are mostly like employees of dealerships, they're not like me and you going to buy a car. It's like folks from Crane or whoever coming to buy a lot of cars. They would come in from the east side. They're in small vehicles, pickup trucks. And then the western entrance, the old entrance, would just be for like car haulers, which those are big vehicles, but there's much less of them there on auction day than there are, people in pickup trucks. There may be, on auction day, y'all seen it, but there might be 100, trucks and SUVs in the parking lot of people buying. There's much less of those big car haulers, and they're not coming in and out as frequently. They're coming in the morning and leaving at the end of the day.
Come up beside Burger King.
Yes, sir. Where they
And
going
now,
now?
all of that's on the road by Burger King.
Now,
So
every
at
bit of it
least,
is.
at least
It's
it's
split
cut in
up.
half or split up to
Yes,
some
sir.
extent.
Okay.
okay.
Any other questions, anybody?
Yeah, this was, I think, just an oversight, and that when they were developing all the land around it, nobody looked at the map.
No, that's what I was gonna say, cause there's really not no way in there. Unless, what you talking about, the highway?
This is all
Is
just
there gonna be
procedural.
another exit?
where the state's gonna put it.
Mississippi, I believe, is what it is, an extension of Mississippi. Is that the right, am I saying that
It
right?
is.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
goes by Crestwood Apartments over there.
Yeah.
Between there and Simmons Bank, is it? Am I right?
What the future plans are. for
Show
that.
us. if you
Yeah,
want.
show us.
Riverwind now, ain't it?
I've seen them, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's Riverwind.
Yeah. My only concern is the traffic, and I know it's gonna be bad.
The state has, I think, is saying that project is probably 2 years out.
Okay.
So we're not
The
counting
access
on
road.
it in the immediate future. We've got other access points, but I think it would, I think us splitting up the traffic is gonna help already.
Yeah.
That would just be additional help.
If they could use the new city commercial
Yeah,
property
if they
as
could use the
entrance,
city
that would
commercial
be
property,
nice.
it'd be a lot better, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Well, that's where our,
That's what you plan on.
that's where our immediate plan is to come from.
Okay.
When the state roads build, I think it would split that traffic up even more.
Yes.
32 points.
Cause that there by Burger King getting in and out is pretty tough.
Especially on a Wednesday on auction day.
It sure is.
They will run you over.
They won't run you over, y'all.
You still need to be able to get to our Whoppers, you know.
When those trucks come off the highway and they
I'll
make
tell you what I
turn
go
in.
get, I
Yeah,
got two
I
of them
just-
today.
That
That's
backs
ice cream
everything
cones.
up.
Make a right turn out of there, get on the freeway.
But it sounds like they got a roll.
Yeah.
Take care of it.
Them ice cream cones are good.
I was pretty impressed by the auction. I've been a few times when we've been working on this just to see it. I can't believe how many cars they moved.
Well,
Okay,
it's getting more and more.
future plans are to widen, this is the convenience store here, the memorial here, to widen West Mississippi, down, all the way down to this point here, and it will come down this way, down beside the freeway. Here.
Who's doing that, the city or the state?
That's Steve.
State.
The
How
state.
far is that gonna run? Is that gonna run up to 64?
Not quite.
No?
I think well, from what I've seen or heard, it's supposed to connect to that new road that the city's putting in across from First Security Bank. So it'll cut off somewhere or another and come back to DeWitt Henry.
That's what I've seen it with.
Now,
Now, we did,
Yeah,
we were,
here's that entrance right here, so it'll come up and tie there. And
Is
then
West
they'll have-
Mississippi by B&B Texaco or the plant over there? Where's West Mississippi?
Where the Phillips
It's up a
66
little,
is,
right
it goes
there.
behind,
There's West Mississippi.
Napa. That goes,
Oh, okay.
That's
yeah,
Simmons
yeah,
Bank,
behind
the
that.
red roof there,
This
Simmons
is all,
Bank.
this is
Oh,
all.
I'm sorry, it's
Riverwind.
not Riverwind, I'm
Apartments
sorry.
Here, up here.
Yes,
yeah, it goes behind Crestwood Apartments too.
okay. I've never been down that road.
Michael White used to
I
live
thought it
down
was
there.
Yeah, he
dead
did,
end.
I remember that on the left.
But
Yeah,
dead.
everybody quit using it
I
years
think it
ago,
is a
but
dead
they
end, ain't it?
cut the
Yeah,
freeway through.
you can go down there, but it's not maintained, at least not that time.
I'm impressed
Okay.
that Curious listed
I know
on
we're
now,
talking
they're a food truck. They got their own,
You're getting pretty good.
they're pretty good food too.
I don't see any difficulties or any problems with this, and I think it's just procedural. So move to rezone from R3 to C2.
Second.
There's a proper motion and a second to approve the rezone request as submitted for these 4 parcels. All in favor, say aye. I'm sorry, more question?
Last time we voted on something to do with here, I abstained because my daughter works there. I found out later that, nice, but didn't mean to be. I'm gonna leave that up to you. She's kind of at the bottom of the middle management, so I'm gonna leave it up to you if y'all think I should abstain from this vote or not.
It's totally your call. Abstaining is personal decision. You can decide whatever you want to do. It's totally up to you.
So, well, if you don't mind, then I'm gonna go ahead and vote. Everybody okay with that?
I'm fine.
Whatever you want to do. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries, and the rezone is recommended for approval.
Thank you, sir.
Very welcome. I believe that's all the items on the agenda. Is there something that I'm not aware of?
All of you have gotten these documentation for the payroll, basically, for planning and zoning. Carol said if you guys can get this turned in this week, she should be able to have the checks cut next week. So what she needs to know, is she's gonna need it from you, James, is who was here in the April, May, and June meetings?
And I'm gonna provide her that information
Okay.
tomorrow.
What about May and June's, or maybe it's June and July's minutes? We've never approved them or seen them, or?
We got July, but I don't know that we did June or May. Maybe we did, I'm not sure.
What we did, we had those transcripts done for the meetings. We can go, somebody can go back to secretary, or I can go back and review and write a set of minutes if you like.
It's not a problem for me as long as it's not gonna get us in trouble somehow by not approving them.
It's not us that gets in trouble, it's the city council that has to approve our minutes for
We
their
don't have
action.
any to give to them.
Well, the one that we're missing is the one with Duggar, with all those people there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a
And
pretty
the
important
city
meeting.
they already
That's-
acted on that.
I wasn't at
There
that
was a lot
meeting.
of people here that day.
Yeah, and they've already heard and acted on that.
And sided with us, correct? That's what I was told.
Yeah, there was no action.
You're talking about the council did?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a
nobody-
meeting, that's a minutes that we're missing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am to produce those minutes from you, is that correct?
Well, not if the council's
The city
already.
council's,
If the city council is happy with things as they are,
Okay,
I
let's
am.
make sure.
I am. But it's probably a good idea to have a formal set of minutes every time, just as, at least going forward.
Yeah, because
So we don't run into something somebody thinks we didn't.
there was a lot of people here.
That's why I got these little minutes together.
Thank you so much.
I'm just gonna ask, is it relevant what the city council did or didn't do on whether or not we have to have minutes?
They're supposed to approve our minutes every month.
Yeah.
Whenever they do their meeting.
Regardless of how they vote on what issues, right?
Right, I mean, they're supposed to, or I shouldn't say they're supposed to, in the past, they've always reviewed and.
They review and approve if they have them. But
Correct.
if we didn't give it to them, they don't have an option.
So if, I would recommend that if we can get them, that we approve them and get them to city council, procedurally. I mean,
To me, that was a very important meeting. There was a lot of people there.
I agree.
Yeah, I would say from now on, we need to make sure whoever is in, I guess Derek is still our secretary, correct?
As far as I know.
We make sure that we have minutes to give to the city council anyways.
I agree. Covers the bases.
Yeah.
So this,
It's a good idea.
that we denied tonight, that we don't have to hear that?
Not for 6 months, right?
That's correct.
I don't think that was happening.
Well, I mean, we're done with our meeting now, but.
No, we're not.
Not yet.
I'll make a
Other-
motion to adjourn.
It's proper motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, we are adjourned. Thank you for coming.